Well, okay. I don't know what's going on with this. I bought this new computer and it's already garbage. Couple of updates. When I went to set up this computer, things have really radically changed, viewers. Something you need to know, you go buy a laptop today, you cannot just run the programs and set it up. I'm not going to mention the names of the things it required me to do, but you got to set up this account, this account, this account, emails and passwords and emails and passwords and phone numbers and this and this and this and this and this and this and link and link and link and link. In the process of trying to do that, could not get to my Facebook. And I'm like, what in the world? And it pulled up an old Facebook dummy account that I made that I never used, never set up, never loaded up pictures. So I'm like, how do I get out? When I went through the laptop, there was no way to delete it. There was no way where I could go in, delete the account. When I finally found it, I entered 99 different passwords, couldn't get rid of it. So I had to go back into my phone where I have my original Facebook. I had to go in and delete that and just shut it down. And the reason that I did that, already I had a friend message me and say, man, it's so sad. I said, no, it isn't. We need to get off Facebook. And here's why. It is promoting stuff that goes against our values. And it's time for us men to take a stand. And I have gone back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. It is a time eater. It is a time waster. We have gotten addicted to the product of Facebook. Zuckerberg and his staff has discriminated and harassed regular viewers for posting anything that their twisted staff doesn't agree with. Okay. They are doing something called Reels, Reels, promoting child porn. Ladies under 18, no bras, nipples, breasts, showing, flashing, bouncing up and down. You've got a girl on there named Nicole, and she's jerking herself, and she's got puffy nipples going like this. Do not come. Do not come. This is where we've arrived in our beautiful, liberated U.S. society. Females selling their booty holes on the internet while people like me and you are going to work. Okay. And they are making money. They're getting all the likes, all the attention, but their actual contribution to society is flotsam, jetsam, plane wreckage, and ship sinking stuff that floats around in the Atlantic or Pacific or wherever you happen to want to sink. Next up, I have to work with a woman every day. I'm not particularly fond of her. I've been nice. She went from a position in the company where most of us were at, and she's now what you call office staff. Overweight, doesn't have real hair, doesn't have natural color to her ethnic. And when she deals with people, it's interesting. It's taken me years to notice this. Pacific has made a stance that I'm not for professionals. Professionals, corporate, office people, management are politicians. I don't care where you go, they're politicians. What they have done is they've created an industry whereby they can be nasty to you under the term, the guise, the ruse, professional. A young lady was having trouble operating something that is a new thing that the company has put out, a computer, a tablet. The tablet has given many of the employees problems of not booting up, not going to the next function, not doing what it's supposed to do. Leaders in management in meetings have said, there's nothing wrong with it. It works. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. And I personally heard an interaction with an employee in one of these young, immature, 30 something office staff who, comes in, good morning, and the whole child conscripted speech. Um, it's bad. And they asked her to do something. She goes, I can't get the tablet to open. And this professional gets on and says the following: it is in your job description to know how to use the tablet, and you should have received proper training. And she was very condescending. Myself and another employee heard it. That employee said, wow, listen to that. I said, that is so wrong. And there was a pause, and the other lady said, well, I did receive training and I do know how to use it. But if the product doesn't work, how am I to blame? The silence from the professional, immature girl who needs to go on a diet and get real hair. And I say this on purpose. Let's end that. Businesses in America are not friendly for working class employees. There's a reason for that. It's the same reason that Facebook is messing with people. It's the same reason that Google is telling you you cannot have an opinion that differs from the holy see of the tech echelon, the oligarchs. In the case of spherical heating, that round thing that's getting HOT, you cannot say the word CLIMATE or you get a sticker. AI is all over this now. AI is banning people, shutting them down, removing videos, removing accounts, jailing you. It is the way of the future. The Bible talks about when we have the Antichrist, there's going to be an image of the beast. We're getting there, folks. AI is going to be very instrumental in that. They got an app on the phone now that interacts with something you post, and the young ladies are going gaga. It's not even a real person. It's AI that's generating all these comments. Okay. Pacific is finally saying we are racing fast in supersonic speed into a next level of complete craziness. Mark Zuckerberg, Bezos, all these people buying property in New Zealand, out in the islands, building bunkers. They're loaded with cameras. And people saying they must know what's coming. No, they created this. They're enjoying this. But I'm going to tell y'all something that I said on my last videos on Facebook. Before you start to worry and wring your hands, if the U.S. is going to be destroyed, do you think Zuckerberg and these clowns are going to be safe? Okay, so you build a bunker in Hawaii. Hawaii is a U.S. state. The U.S. collapses, turns in on itself. The economy blows up. What do you think China and Russia are going to do with Hawaii? How's Hawaii going to protect itself? How are those island people going to? They're vacationing and paying overpriced rent and living, and you've got local native islanders that refer to everybody that's not a local island native or as haoles, and they're racist as all get out, which is okay and acceptable in Hawaiian society, which I think is just not okay. And they've made fat money off tourism, and yet they hate us. God, hypocrisy. If something happened to the U.S. to knock us out of a world player, Zuckerberg and nobody is safe because the rest of the world is not going to leave them alone. What protection are they going to have? Their own? China says, we're going to take Hawaii. And what's this bunker over here? They'll drop something on it and blow it up. Bunkers don't protect you from military things, okay? They don't. We have bunker buster bombs in the U.S. So does other countries. The elites are preparing to protect themselves. And the Bible says something that the wicked flee when no one is pursuing them. And you're watching this happen with the tech geeks. They know that they've angered and pissed off a lot of people. So back to women in the workplace. The big pause when the young lady or the female my age tried to defend herself and say, this is not working. Big pause, no backup, no reverse gear. I remember what I said about women in Western culture. They do not have an ability to put it in reverse. They do not have an ability to put it in reverse. Well, you'll need to get with our IT guy. Not, I'm sorry. I apologize. Let me, when you get done with what you're doing, go ahead and go to IT and let's see if we can rectify that. I don't believe in professionalism. They don't hire people that are qualified. In just about every place I've worked, they never hire people that are qualified. They hire somebody who's friends with somebody who's usually an immature woman who's popular with the flakes, who are more worried about their hairstyles, their workload, and getting their coffee. And they make it known to you, oh, when I get back to the office, I've got to do this, and I've got to do this, and I've got to do this. And you just feel like saying, wow, you're so special. Nobody else has anything to do but you. It's sick. And it dawned on me. They put women like that in those positions because they'll turn on their coworkers. They'll turn on their friends. They'll kiss butt to management. They'll dot their little ridiculous I's and T's. Have you all noticed this? It doesn't matter what company you work for. You give silly women that have no self-control over their own lives. They don't control their gluttony, their fat, their obesity. They don't control the fact that they're looking faker and faker, putting on wigs and dyeing hair, and they carry themselves with this domination and bossing people around. Do you ever notice that most American workplaces have low to mid-level management people that are not qualified to lead? And it goes straight to their head and blows it up like the Hindenburg. And they're now in charge of you. And guess what they do to you? If they don't like you, they pick and pick and pick and pick. You try to stand up to it, you're going to end up in the office. This is why companies hire women. They're getting revenge on men. They're not qualified to lead. I run that by Bible. Paul says, the Apostle Paul says, I do not permit a woman to teach or have authority over men. They're running Walmart. They're running call centers. They're running departments at Amazon. They're running everything. They're emotionally driven. And I'm not going to use the word logic anymore. They're emotionally driven thought processes. They act like they care. They don't. Have you ever noticed when you've talked to somebody in management and you say something and they don't respond? And I find myself, did you hear what I just said? Yes, I did. Okay. So here's what you got. The not responding, there's a reason for that. They don't want to. This is not professionalism. This is a socialist way of operating. Okay. If you react, and they do this to design it so that you can react, so that they will have an excuse. Well, Pacific reacted very negatively to me today, and I need to address this, and we need to take this to the further level. Now, I haven't done that, but I've caught it. Businesses, corporations love women in these positions. It goes straight to their head. Oh, I got a position. They start controlling everybody. They start hiding behind this itsy bitsy minutia body of knowledge for that particular job. They think they're gods. They think they're better than everybody else. I find myself chafing against this. This woman had also admitted to me that her primary goal is to ladder. Always be wary of women laddering. They will say just the right thing. They will This woman comes late to work. And this woman, because she's in management, and the nuclear drive of our organization is shelved if another manager says, why don't we meet over here and see if we can look at this? We got this stuff to do that's more pressing. Well, but she wants to meet me now instead of us doing it after I come back and I start my official, what I'm hired for. Do you notice that management will bend the rules for themselves? But watch an employee bend the rules and show up late 2 or 3 times. Management now will have 3 women at your back, chipping, ganging up. It's intimidating. It's wrong. We got the U.S. military trying to get everybody comfortable with accepting manifold sexual, whatever you want to call it. And we've got countries standing on the outside of our nation looking at us going, what is going on over there? I don't think that Putin is training his men to pull their pants open and wonder if they have a penis or a vagina. I don't think China's telling their men that it's okay to be LGBTQ, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, V, W, X, Y, Z. Okay? America is. America's on a self-destruct mode. We have Democrats in the White House. We have Democrats on Capitol Hill, that they are there for the primary purpose of eroding us and breaking us. But I'm going to tell you something. For those of you that believe in the Bible and that are Christians, okay, go to the book of Esther, and I challenge you to read the story of Esther. It's a very interesting book. The word God, God, is not mentioned in the book at all. Yet God is all through it. Haman does not like Mordecai. Haman is kissing up to the king so that he can ladder up and be promoted because he has an ego that doesn't quit. Okay. Mordecai had suggested to a relative of his, a female, Xerxes had a wife, and he was trying to show her out when he got drunk and at a party, and the wife said, no, I'm not doing that. And there's many different debates on all of that, okay? Many different debates. But Xerxes got with his other men, and they all said, look, you let her do this, and I want you to pay attention to this, men. You let her get away with this, it's going to start a movement, and I'm going to insert the word feminists. Now, I don't think a man parading his wife around when he's drunk and having her parade around like that is a very good thing. But there's a principle in here that we don't want to miss. Xerxes said, look, if we do not stop this, women will rise up and they'll be bucking us. And he was essentially right. So he decided to put her away, and he decided to do a mass job interview with eligible single women, basically sleeping with each one of them one at a time, getting the feel of it. And after he had poonged numerous women, he got to Esther and decided she's the one. Well, God allowed that to happen to move Esther into place to protect the Jewish people because Haman was devising a plan to have them killed. He didn't like Mordecai. Mordecai was a devout Jew who feared God, and he respected the king. And Mordecai had actually let some of the officials know that there was an attempted assassination plot on Xerxes, and that was never made known. And the king couldn't sleep one night, and he had the book of Annals of Chronicles or whatever read to him, and they read the part where Mordecai had overthrown a plot or exposed it. And the king said, what has been done to honor him? And the official said nothing. Haman had built guillotines, gallows, whatever you want to call them, with the intent of hanging Mordecai and taking him out because Haman had an ego. Haman came up with this idea that everybody was supposed to bow to Haman. And Mordecai wouldn't do it, and it disturbed Haman. Christians, when somebody hates you, just your mere presence is going to set them off like a Roman candle. We're living in a world that's becoming increasingly hostile to biblical Christianity. Christians, they're blaming us for everything. Don't be surprised at that. That needs to happen. I believe in the rapture of the church, the snatching away, the twinkling of an eye, that God removes the saints from the world. After that, things are going to set into motion that will ultimately head towards the 7-year tribulation and kick off those end time events. Christians in the church today have compromised. I've compromised. We've all compromised. And we have not been as bold as we should be. We have allowed the world to squeeze us into its mold. And we live in a world that is not friendly to Christianity, Jesus Christ. We are different, though. We are adopted. Those of us that are Christians, we are adopted as children of God. We are made heirs. We are forgiven of our sins. We have peace with God. But this world and us are always going to do this. Okay? They're not going to accept us. They're not going to like us. They're going to mess with us. The tech geeks have changed things. When you get on your computer, back when I had a compact Presario from Circuit City years ago, before they went bye-bye, you open it up and it just sped along and you set up this, set up this. This thing here, no such deal. You got to do this, and you got to write down this, and write down passwords, write down this, write this. Now you're interlinked. What if I don't want to be? Satan loves interlinking. Remember Babel? Come, let us build a tower. Man's doing that. Zuckerberg's doing that. All these rich, fat cat tech geeks are doing that. Get everybody caught like spiders that make their webs, and that fly or that bug stick. You got to go online to apply for a job. Got to go online to check your bank account. Got to go online to check your bills. Got to go online to see if you get any deals. Got to go online to do this. Your company now, you need to get on your online account. They're forcing people basically to have iPhones now. The industry is forcing. I had a job over a year ago when I was driving a school bus where they require me to have my dang phone on me. No transportation I ever worked for wants us and those phones in the same sphere. They're calling drivers on the two-way radio. Can you give me a 21? Can you give me 21? No, I can't give you a 21 because you got me doing so many routes today that I don't have time. I got to pull up the school, walk up and down the bus, make sure there's no sleeping kid, and I got to go. I don't have time for this. Can you talk to me on the two-way? I don't like to talk on the two-way. I want to call you on the radio, but we're not supposed to be on our, yeah. You get the drift. Our society is making it more difficult to perform a simple life. And I made a decision. Let's dump Facebook. At the end of the day, it hasn't profited me in any single solitary way. Have I met some cool people? Most of them met me through this. Women in the workplace. Have you ever noticed how so many of them in the office staff are not in good shape? They're not gorgeous. They're not mature. They're not qualified. They have irritating voices, and they all get in line in that funnel of that good morning and that child-directed speech. Why do women just gravitate towards that? Because it's a means whereby they can discriminate against others. It's where they can wield this itty-bitty ounce of power. And they can go home at night saying, I was doing my job. They're heartless. It's funny that women are emotionally driven thought process, but they have no problem putting the boot in on people just because they can, all in the name of professional. I don't, Pacific stances, I don't like corporate America, whether it's Chick-fil-A, whether it's Hobby Lobby, whether it's anybody. They're about making money. They're about bottom line. And I'm not against people making money. We have to. But what we have to talk about as a Christian is what is our reason for making money? Mostly self-preservation. Okay, the Bible says if a man will not work, he will not eat. But we have a government that's encouraging everybody to be a bunch of BUMS and sit on the welfare system. I don't support that. If a man will not work, he will not eat. You got grown men living in projects, Section 8. They're stronger than me, they're younger than me, and they're smoking weed, and they buy some piece of junk car. They pay more for the rims and the stereo, being a nuisance to society. And I got to get up and go to work every day to pay for that. And that's kind of like a finger right in your eye. Nobody likes that. But welcome to the Democrat Party of the United States of America. Welcome to the Democrat Party that's trying to tell us that whites are racist, white supremacy. And I'm going to tell you something. I have made a trip in the last 4 years, and I'm going to say it from here. Okay. I have moved all over the country and part way into, halfway around the world to Asia. And I'm going to finally say what needs to be said. Caucasians are under attack by elite Caucasians that are sitting on the biggest piles of wealth, controlling the media, the school systems, and what you get as a so-called McEducation. And they're not living in the black or brown skin neighborhoods. Look at Obama. Look at him and his wife saying that whites are privileged. But note something. They moved to Martha's Vineyard, which was white lily. Okay. Go look at Oprah with her multitudinous mansions. And I want you to ask yourself a question about all of these flamboyant, I'm going to say it, African-American personalities that are criticizing this race of us. And I've started to tell African Americans, I'm Irish American. Oh, were you born in Ireland? No. Well, how can you be Irish? How can you be African American? Well, how can you be African American? You were not born in Africa, so you're an American, right? Have you not noticed? Have we missed it all this time? They call themselves African American to separate themselves out from us. So they're not interested in unifying with us. Just the term African American. Watch what they do to us. Go to job application, Caucasian. Tell me that corporate America hasn't designed this. I'm Irish American, thank you. But you weren't born there, neither were these Africans. So boom, boom, boom. Point made. They themselves set themselves elitist, separatists, and they're going to tell us that we're white supremacists, that we have white privilege. 4 years ago, I watched as African Americans tore up our country from stem to stern in the so-called Justice for Floyd movement. The lies surrounding that whole investigation, kangaroo court hearing, and the millions of dollars that is family that didn't deserve one penny is nothing short of demonic. Okay. Let me say something, folks. Times have changed, and they're going to change again. The Bible talks about an Antichrist. When he comes, he will change the times and the seasons. We've got people in American business. They're not interested in making happy employees. They're doing damage control. Oh, let's buy pizza. Let's throw in a little potato chip bag once in a while. while they're doing their wicked, awful stuff. And when management gets somebody they don't like, doesn't matter if they're a good employee, they will systematically find a professional way to get rid of you. This is why Pacific doesn't like professional and the term professional. I've changed my terminology. I want to hire somebody who's good at what they do. For example, if some guy goes around me in traffic driving like a fool, cabinet restoration, repair, and install, okay? And you see cabinet boy who does not know how to drive a cabinet truck driving around you being dumb, and you honk the horn and he gives you a dirty look. And I'm the kind of a person now, I'd pull up and say, hey, do you do new cabinets? Yeah, I do. Really? Well, I'm needing somebody, but after the way I saw you drive, I don't think I want you installing my cabinets. You think I'm wrong for saying that? I don't. I don't. Not at all. Be very careful, men, about professional women laddering, silly, immature middle school mentality. And I have to listen to this woman for a portion of my day. And I'm like, why did I have to be paired with this one? Why? She supports abortion. She's anti Israeli. She's clearly manipulated by the African American community that they're victims and they're oppressed. And she doesn't have leadership skills. She thinks she does. Management team convinces her she does. You don't get a job by merit and interview in those positions. You get it because of favoritism or because you're a willing silly putty model of what management wants for you to play their game. So you are hired in that position because you're easily moldable by management to turn against all of your fellow coworkers. You'll maintain that faux veneer, but this is where it's at. This thing. I don't trust people in management anywhere USA. The late Jim, when he was alive, he used to call them apparatchiks. Never heard that term, but he said the government hires these kinds of people. You ever wonder why, when you go to the DMV or you go to any of the government agencies, and you've just got the surly, crusty, awful, ugly crowd of people you got to deal with behind the desks? License and registration, please. Got it. And you ever notice when you try to talk to somebody, they leave the pause, you go to say something, they just cut you off. That's going to be $25, please. Can I finish asking my question now that you just rudely interrupted me? They're not professionals. They are a sector of society that is placed to not be your friend. It's just like the police today. I don't support violence against law officers, okay? I don't support all this movement of defunding the police. But the police in America are not for you. They're for something else. And it's time we wake up that America has long ago been hijacked by a move towards Babel, a one world government, a one world system. And America has been leading the way in this. Get off Facebook, people. YouTube is a wealth of information. You can listen to music, documentaries, see stuff from around the world. I think it's a good thing. Use stuff like BitChute. Use sites like MeWe. I encourage that. They'll never get the press. I want you to notice that Zuckerberg's Facebook is the same colors as Walmart, blue and white. And you can't go by a church or a business. You can't see the back bumper of a utility bed truck that does plumbing like us on Facebook. That's become the standard. And you look at women. Oh, you on Facebook? You on Facebook? Oh, let me give you my Facebook account. Oh God, that's so important. I really want to be inside there. I don't like you at work. I'm certainly not going to like you in your Facebook. And they are patronizing to men. They devalue us men. They talk down to us. This is not a system that has been erected by God. It is a system of opposites. It's like when you tell a toddler no and they say yes. Women are doing everything that God did not intend them to do. They're slut teases. They're over us men. They're in authority over us men. And if you don't kiss their butt just right, they will make your job and or your trip to the unemployment line more accessible. Managers like that. I've got people in management over me, tattooed women that are shaped like a Hershey's kiss or a poop emoji with irritating African American nasally voices, acting like they're professionals and so much experience. They're low level losers. Okay. But you can't go up and say that. And I don't play the game. I don't like some of these people, so I avoid them as much as I can. I make sure to do my job so that I don't have to sit in the principal's office. But let me make it very clear to you. American business is not favorable to the working ants. If you shut your mouth and you do your job and you stay out of their crosshairs, you can get your paycheck. And once you go home, that's your world. When you're there, you got to watch it. You are in a socialist system called the workplace. Offend somebody, you don't bow when they think you ought to bow. They're building gallows for you. They're building guillotines. But the beautiful thing about the book of Esther is Haman ended up with all of his manipulating, which is what American business is doing, getting him and his whole family hung. His family, that really had nothing to do with Haman's wicked plots. But the point was made. We don't want any surviving relatives of this clown. God protected the Jews through Esther and righteous Mordecai. So Zuckerberg and your coworkers that used to be here with you. Hi, Mr. Nelson. How are you today? I'm here. Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah. How can women be so insincere and get mileage out of fumes like that? I don't know. I'm not even going to try to figure it out. Women are weird and different than us anyway. That's just all there is to it. And there's no reconciling that ever. Pacific is hoping to launch fairly soon. I will be having a partner with me, and we will be having talking points. It will be a female, very good friend of mine, and we're going to be talking about what is going on in the world. And she is a Caucasian female, and not sure when that's going to take place, but it's time. And I want to say to people, I don't need to prove myself that I'm very international. I love Asian, I love Black and people from around the world. I don't like the polarization that has taken place in the United States. I do not like or support in any way, shape, or form the Democrat Party of the United States. They are led and run by this devil himself. I do not support corporate America. Corporate America is an oppressive, tyrannical system. I was in a store recently getting building products. And I walked in there when they just opened and I heard all this. I'm like, what's the party? And Target does it, Walmart does it, and I think Lowe's and Home Depot and other places do it. And they have these little peppy pep rally talks with their employees. And I'm like, look, you're all wearing boring outfits, boring company oppressive logo, Walmart with little, they just don't excite. And I'm like, these are burnout jobs and nobody's going to stay in 20, 30 years. Amazon. Oh, we're going to address Amazon. They have shifted the business model upside down. You turn me. Okay. You don't have to give 2 weeks notice. They don't even check your backgrounds except a background criminal check and a drug test. But Jeff Bezos is about shredding humans to run a major empire industry. He is an empire builder. He is monopolizing the world. And Americans created the monster because of their lust for have it now materialism and online ordering. This world, America, women are leading the way. They are LinkedIn. And it's so funny to listen to them all these years. You don't know me. I don't want people to know me. TMI. Yet you link yourself into the satanic web out there. And people that are in control of that know everything about you. They know your shopping habits. They know when you booked airline tickets. They know what you looked at. They know how long you looked at it. You don't have anonymity anymore. Mark Zuckerberg and these other people have made goo gobs of money, and they're still making goo gobs. Look at YouTube. When I got on there back in the day, it was a great site. Then it just got becumbered and laden down like a Great Lakes ore carrier, which top deck is maybe 4 feet from the water, and you got 45-foot waves that night. Not going to be a good voyage, okay? And you've got this, you can't even watch a minute work video with the song Down Under that cuts halfway into it with some geekster Google commercial with their cheesy music and some nasally woman's voice. And now what you're seeing in the workplace is you're seeing the installation of ethnics that are not qualified, ethnics that have no people skills, ethnics that the left feels is way underestimated and not, they're giving them a pedestal now to be over us, and they're getting revenge on men and whites and conservatives and Christians. Jesus says, marvel not that the world hates you. Okay. You hated me first. A disciple, a student is not above his teacher. Okay. Folks, wake up. The stage is being set for God to start whatever's next on the prophetic calendar. 2 witnesses die in the book of Revelation. They'll be refused burial for 3 days. It says people from every tribe and tongue and nation will gaze on their bodies. This, iPhones, they've got us LinkedIn. Says they will celebrate. They'll give gifts to each other because they'll claim that they tormented the earth. No, they didn't. They were prophets by God. God told them. Would they say this country's not going to get rain? This is going to happen? And they're going to refuse a burial. This is a society, folks, that is screaming and yelling about animal cruelty, is going to leave 2 people that are prophets of God to die in the streets and leave their bodies out there and give gifts to each other. Stop thinking that man is basically good. Stop thinking your coworker that just moved from the position you were both in over you is your friend, because she is not. She is your enemy. And they picked her because they see that she is going to go the exact way that the ruthless management wants her to go. This is why you and I don't get those positions. We care and we love and we have conviction. They only hire people that's heads are empty and full of Satan and the ways of this world. Okay? That's a fact. Get off Facebook. Limit your social media influence. Get closer to God's word. And for the love of God, white people, Start reaching back out to your race. We're under attack. Okay? We're under attack. It's about people. It's about God. It's not about this. Go do your job, do the best of your ability. If you find yourself run over by the 8 wheels of a semi trailer, dust yourself off and go get another job. American business is not your friend. If you can work for some small little mom and pop place or Ace True Value, where you have a community of people that you know in the community, and I recommend Ace. Anybody ever like Ace? They are so friendly. They are so nice. I don't have one where I live. Ace True Value is one of the best business models. They got popcorn, little bags of popcorn at some of their, you know, their franchises. They help you find that nut and bolt. They're just a good American business. And if you can get a job in a place like that and learn how to do it, and you get along with your little crew, it's a great place. It's a great place. Target, Walmart, Amazon, and big tech. Google just announced laying off hundreds. This is how much they care for their apparatchiks. They're using AI to do everything. AI is just slamming people's accounts. And I've said it before, social media doesn't follow constitutional law because social media is not interested in constitutional law. Social media has helped unravel the fabric of what makes America. And you've got young ladies from all across the world now. They're being inappropriate. No bras, little tiny skimpy shirts that flip up and show stuff. Our Congress passed laws about child sexual exploitation. Our Congress is doing nothing about Facebook parading it into your living room, your phone, all around the US. That's why they're ignoring Biden, Hunter, the Fantasy Island boys that were all involved with Epstein, because the Democratic Party promotes this. That's fact. Facebook, Google should be shut down for allowing on their search engines access to this kinds of thing. They won't touch them. I'm not making this up. They're creating the babble. They're creating the addiction, and they've got everybody hooked in LinkedIn. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.